Welcome to an initial sponsor for today's game from Wakefield College. College looks forward to a number of future arrangements for the good of the Rovers. Of course, our main sponsors for the season, these are all Yorkshire fitted. Our thanks to all of those for helping today and throughout the season.
Thanks, Nick. Well, let's not forget, of course, if Featherstone do win today and Salford lose, Featherstone Rovers will be guaranteed First Division football again next season. Featherstone coming up the hill in the first half. David, where do you think the key issue is going to be in this game?
Certainly at half-back, John. One elated, one disappointed player. Today's game gives either the point to make their respective one.
That point being that Derek Fox is not going on the tour, Bobby Goulding is, and that's perhaps the most controversial decision in Malcolm Reilly's squad. Here is Fox for the first time in the game, and the kick is charged down as well. It's landed eventually in the hands of Ikram Butt, and that could have been very dangerous indeed to Featherstone Rovers. If that had fallen in Leeds' hands, you'd have fancied them for an early score.
Yes, they have the advantage of coming down. The wind is a bit of a cross-field wind anyway, so it isn't really of an advantage to either side, I don't think. So really it is the slope is the only advantage either side will have in this first half.
Featherstone were disappointed to lose at Headingley in a high-scoring game earlier in the season. They've put the ball down, and this is going to give Leeds the chance to run it in. Carl Gibson found a gap there because Martin Pearson had just sidestepped off on his right foot. Maskill swings it the other way. Schofield's involved. The four more play the balls, and driving up this time is Steve Malloy, the former Warrington prop forward. Goulding, the longer ball is a good one and got Dixon moving, but an excellent tackle there. Really good tackle with Andy Fisher. Goulding, a shorter ball, Schofield, Innes. He's already proved he's a very durable sort of a player, very strong, and this is the last tackle. Maybe a Schofield drop goal attempt. It is. And in fact, he's hoisting it, he fooled everybody there. Dangerous ball, but well taken by Chris Bibb for Featherstone Rovers, who comes up the middle. Good start, and a confident start by the Featherstone fullback.
It is a good start. It's also a positive start by Leeds as well. Their handling was very safe and secure there, although it must be said as well that Featherstone's defence held up well.
Rose, and gets it away well for Smales, and here's a rampaging run from the second row man. Goulding's come across, he got the inside ball away to Paul Newlove. Really good running from Ian Smales coming up the hill, and here come Featherstone with Terry Manning looking dangerous. Fox couldn't hold on to it, Burton can, but the ball was knocked on, and Featherstone's first chance has gone. The lively work featuring Ian Smales.
Well, that was a superb run of his then, actually. He broke the defence completely. Let's just take a look at it, because Smales does come onto this ball at speed, and he brings the inside pass inside, but it was ill-directed as it happened because the defence had the man covered and Newlove hadn't a chance.
The referee today is Stuart Cummings from Widnes. Stuart Cummings from Widnes, who seems to be the permanent referee on Scrum Down these days. He was at Odsal last week for Bradford Wakefield. Malloy soon halted in his tracks there. Hanley's decoy run nearly opened the way for Devotee.
He's done that once or twice now, Ellery Hanley has. That's been easy to notice because he's run away from the ball. But such as he as a player, that he does take a lot of men with him.
Let's see what he does this time. He's fought away the first tackle and the second, put the ball to ground. But fortunately, from a Leeds point of view, it was picked up by Malloy. Leeds are looking certainly livelier than they have in recent matches. Pearson knocked it down, and there'll be 6 more tackles from here. But both sides showing a willingness to throw the ball around.
Well, there's a bounce in both of the teams' play. There's been a number of mistakes, but that's made it exciting. And either side have profited from the mistakes.
Cavill-Hugh lost it. Now Schofield's got it back for Leeds. A bit of a stare on there between Schofield and Fisher. Hanley's ball this time is to Hugh. Leeds had their best ever win here last season, 52 points to 20. One can't imagine a score like that today, but Leeds are coming down the hill very impressively again with Malloy, and the ball inside is good for Craig Innes. 8 yards out. It's been some sprightly work, and the game actually deserves a try. Schofield moving it along the line. Hanley, that time Gallagher looked for it, but Edwards has put it down, and Simpson just couldn't get away from Carl Gibson. Tuta. Fox will give it to Burton, who holds on. That's the role of the prop forward. A number of these Featherstone players did have minor injuries, and Alan Agar wasn't sure until he actually arrived at the ground today what team he was going to be able to put out. He was certain that Fox would be in it, and that's Fox's kick, which is good. Nearly came out on the Featherstone side, but quickly dived on by Hanley. Vince Fawcett getting a rare opportunity in the side today. Boxing Day was his last match, and then he dislocated his shoulder. I think there was a bit of an off-the-ball incident between Brendan Tuta and Ellery Hanley there. The judge informed the referee, but he took no action. Gallagher penned immediately by Newlove. So now it's Goulding. And a clever little kick from Goulding, which has Chris Bibb going back for it. Picking up smoothly. Oh, excellent work again from Bibb. He almost eluded Goulding.
Well, he's a most impressive fullback, whether it be under pressure, whether it is attacking or running out of defence. The boy does it all positively.
And look at this, a good strong Leeds push back on Andy Fisher. Yes, the fullback spot is one where Malcolm really shouldn't have any problems at all. And he's taking Graham Steadman and Steve Hampson to Australia. He could equally have chosen Alan Tate or Bibb. Some space opened up here now for Owen Simpson to try and manoeuvre a way through. Still 0-0, and referee Cummings says the ball was lost in the tackle. They will have a scrum. Definitely out on the lead side this time, and there looks to be a bit of space, but Schofield and Edwards trying to work things in. Gallagher comes into the line well, and has timed the ball out here to Schofield to keep the momentum going down the left. And a penalty will be given against Ikram Butt here. Schofield involved for the second time. Too many players getting involved in personal squabbles now. Well, it's Schofield, certainly, who's going to be spoken to, and he's complaining bitterly to the referee.
Well, it certainly isn't very often that he's involved in something of this nature, and he's rather perturbed and annoyed about it, to say the least. Let's just take it again. He came across the line after taking this ball off Gallagher. He was pushed out sideways by Chris Bibb, but he did evade the tackle. It was here that Butt comes in after nearly running into his own player. Then the other man came in, and look, it looks as if one or two punches were thrown, really, as he was being put to the floor.
And it's Schofield who goes off the field. I think it's for 10 minutes. So the penalty was awarded to Featherstone Rovers, and Schofield, as he comes off, is still looking anguished. That takes his place in the sin bin.
If we remember last time as well, when Schofield did come off against Wigan, they lost their way a little bit, did Leeds, and let's see if they've learned lessons from that.
Pearson roars into a gap created by Tuta, falls to Gallagher's tackle. Featherstone is certainly running with some purpose, and here goes Newlove again. Hanley stopped him, but Lee Whiteley, this 21-year-old hooker, came up into the line, but the pass, I think, was forward. It was. But Lee Whiteley is a baby-faced lad, former Featherstone Miners welfare player. Out on the Leeds side. And Hanley chose to carry the ball rather than pass it. And now there's an injury to Pearson. He's got a bang on the back of the neck. So he'll require some treatment, perhaps. David Sharp, the physio, the bottom corner of your picture there, was trying to get to Pearson.
Well, they certainly are taking heart at Featherstone. They really are, with a step and a bounce in everything they do. And
lovely kick from Goulding. It's just a really robustious affair, this one. Well, it's going this way and that. Leeds have had perhaps more of the pressure, but then occasionally when Featherstone break, they all seem to get to within about 20 yards of the Leeds line. And on the Leeds bench, I'm sure there are moments for concern. And Gary Schofield sitting next to Dougie Lawton. I wonder if he'll rue that 10 minutes.
I was interested then, because when Derek Fox made the break from the scrum, Hanley's at stand-off half, there was no loose forward.
Great ball inside that time from Manning, and Smales wants to get past Gallagher. He's gone about 50 yards as Ian Smales. The fullback's tackle strong, and that's the third time that Featherstone have made this sort of a break. Newlove, and he's got Simpson outside him, and Newlove, he's there. Paul Newlove's got the first try of the afternoon for Featherstone Rovers.
Down to 12 men, gaps are appearing in the Leeds defence. Smales takes advantage of it. He doesn't know where to pass out, he makes it himself.
Well, despite all the Leeds pressure, Featherstone a good value for that try, because they've run with terrific purpose so far.
Yes, they have. They've moved the ball well, they've run strongly, and of course they are now Leeds down to 12 men. They've taken advantage of the gaps that have appeared in the defence.
No goal to go with the try, but it's Featherstone Rovers 4, Leeds 0.
The gap was created, the run was made by Smales, then he was brought down by Gallagher's tackle, and it's from this tackle that Newlove is given possession.
Paul Newlove, 27 tries this season, the best of his short career. That's not a knock-on because he allowed the ball to strike his body and then he picked it up. There's no hand movement by Butt. Fisher. Bundled down 8 or 9 yards from his line. Rose simply intent on keeping possession now. But it's been that ability to get the ball away in the double tackle when 2 men are taken out of the game that has got Featherstone on some of these long runs. Fox will have to kick this time. And he angles the kick beautifully. Oh, a lovely kick once more from Derek Fox. He's determined to put on a show today.
Well, he's certainly proven his point. He really is what makes Featherstone tick. And with kicks like that, what more can you say? That's gained him something like 50 metres really up the slope and taken all the steam out of the Leeds forwards coming down the hill.
Fawcett. He's very strong, and he's got Hanley moving another 3 or 4 yards. Of course, the point is, David, that Featherstone got their try whilst Gary Schofield was in the sin bin.
Well, that's right, and if you notice the first scrum just after that, Hanley went to stand off half. A gap was created in the middle. Fox took advantage of that. It was really tightening up that gap after that the gaps appeared for Smales to make his run and Newlove to score his try.
This is going to be a Leeds penalty. Awarded against Tuta. And it's Gallagher, the former All Black, who is asked to find a touch. Leeds do have many kickers in the ranks, of course. Simon Irving out of the side today. He's not found a touch, though, Gallagher, this time. That will disappoint him when Simpson steps away beautifully. What a run by Owen Simpson. And if he'd have gone left then instead of right, who knows? He might still have been describing a try.
That means he's back to where the kick was from. You have to make sure the ball goes into touch. That's a lesson every rugby league player has to be taught from the start.
All the same, a tremendous relieving run from Owen Simpson, David, and I heard his name mentioned in some quarters as a potential tourist.
Well, they certainly are playing really well, Featherstone. You wouldn't certainly think on this sort of form that they would be relegation candidates for so long. They do leave things wrong because we've seen them play some marvellous games, and they do have some really good players.
They're on the attack again with Manning. Good tackle by Cavill-Hugh. The last tackle this time, so it's Fox. Again he'll kick. And, it's one to chase. Gallagher's underneath it and has taken it calmly and has the penalty awarded for him as well. I think he looks disappointed. He rather fancied a trot up the middle then. He certainly looked confident enough under that ball.
He certainly did. He caught it well and moved away straight away, creating a gap.
But for the second time, Leeds failed to find a touch. And that's a bad part of the game.
Well, you can't afford to do that, and not a side of Leeds calibre. You must make sure the ball goes into touch. 10 yards, it doesn't really matter. You still have 6 play the balls.
Rose got it away for Newlove, held up by Paul Dixon. No, he's not held up at all. Newlove, they let him go there, and that was astonishingly bad defending. He really seemed to have been held in the tackle, and this has given Featherstone a platform once more. And they've got a penalty for offside. And Derek Fox elects for a kick at goal. Sensibly, it could make it 6-0.
Yes, it's a good tactic now by Featherstone. They're running everything at the lead side. They know that they only have 12 men on the field. They're sucking them in, then moving the ball out wide. And Simpson has been somewhat of a revelation. He's caught 2 loose passes and created havoc in the Leeds defence.
Fox can make it 6-0. And that's a good commanding start for Featherstone Rovers. The penalty goal to go with Newlove's try earlier, 6 points to 0. And all this has occurred while Gary Schofield has been in the sin bin. That might be a lesson. However much he'll say he was provoked, Featherstone have taken full toll. Schofield is due back on inside 60 seconds. knowing him, he'll want to put the record straight and create 6 points. Good slick movement again along the line. Fisher, Ikram Butt, the former Leeds man. And finally he goes down in the tackle, but Ikram Butt, who's got 21 tries himself this season, always keen to do well against Leeds. Rose. You see how they're knocking off the tacklers and getting the ball away almost every time. Certainly question marks against some of the Leeds tackling. Fox will kick, and that's another good kick. He's found his touch. Schofield wants to get back into the fray. I think Schofield was suggesting he'd got a finger in the eye earlier, you know.
Yes, I think he was. He was remonstrating rather profoundly to the referee, and the referee sort of didn't take any notice, but the linesman was there and the route went against him.
Featherstone's tackling good enough on Innes. Back comes Schofield. The side's 6 points worse off than when he went off. Malloy took the ball from Hanley. Schofield's back in it now, all right, and he's got Dixon moving up the middle. Paul Dixon, he can canter. It's a good break, is this, from Dixon. Gallagher had just run ahead of him. Gibson was on his outside, and now Chris Bibbs stayed down injured. This is going to spread eagle Featherstone. Goulding, the long ball. Surely they'll catch them out here. Hanley, Innes, in on the left wing. Edwards, he's in. No, I think he put a foot in touch. He put a foot in touch. It's not a try. Morvin Edwards, disgusted with himself. The eagle-eyed touch judge spotted that literally his big toe went over the line.
Well, this was a moving line because the ball came either side. Schofield got involved as well. The ball was moved out very, very quickly. They took advantage of the defence now being thin on the outside here. Look, it's nearly 4-2. 4-2 it is. The ball goes to Edwards. Edwards there steps into touch, as for everyone else to see.
Back live here, Leeds still in the ascendancy. Coming forward is Gallagher. Runs into a two-man wall, gets away from it as well. Still Gallagher. This is good stuff from Leeds, and Schofield is chipped ahead and was taken out of it, and that's a penalty against Featherstone Rovers. Quite rightly, Schofield inducing the indiscretion with that little chip ahead.
Well, he's certainly come back on with a vengeance. He's now at the heart of things straight away. He takes this one here. Now this is a change in tactic. He wasn't going to move it out wide. He put it over the top. It was vulnerable, although someone did pick it up at the back end. But Schofield was taken out of the game.
Chris Bibb looks very badly injured. He's extremely groggy. It's after that run forward by Gallagher, I think. And it's Gallagher now who has the chance to give Leeds their first points of the afternoon. A slightly angled kick, but from no more than 15 yards out. He's got Leeds on the board. It's Leeds 2, Featherstone 6. So the substitute on for Featherstone Rovers is Tim Sharp. Hanley slips. From Maskell to Dixon, who started all that off with that very good surging run. And Dixon and Tutor are having a little bit of an affair off the ball there. Cavill-Hugh. Now Hanley can spread it. No, he can't. Excellent tackling by Featherstone Rovers. Terry Manning was up very sharply.
Yes, that was a very good tackle. He came in from his blind side there. That means that he was away from the ball when he was catching it, Hanley, and really knocked him. As soon as he turned, he put him to the floor.
What do you feel about Ellery Hanley's form at the moment, David? Because some are saying that he's not like the old Hanley, really.
Well, I think that to have an injury like he did at the start of the season doesn't give you the best of confidence, and he is coming back into a side that has been struggling somewhat to get its form together. But I'm sure that he's still quite a big player for bigger occasions, and when the going is tough, Hanley's always there or thereabouts.
Schofield put in a very good kick here to set up this position for Leeds, but it's healed by Featherstone. Almost 25 minutes gone, just the one try in the game. It went to Featherstone, who are coming up the hill now with Pearson. Surging run from Pearson, he does it so well. It's surprising he's not got more tries this year for his club. He's got just about as many for Great Britain's under-21 side. Rose spins away from the attempted tackle by Edwards. Fox, an unusual ball out to Simpson, and a very strange kick from him as well into the hands, the welcoming hands of Gallagher. Carl Gibson, what a good player he's been for Leeds over many years. I think he was signed from second division Batley, and he's got over 100 tries. Good going. That's lost. Oh, if Tutor had held on there, he was going to be setting Featherstone up. The referee's coming in for a bit of stick at the moment from the crowd here. Penalty this time for Leeds.
I must admit, I am amazed whenever the scrum goes down and it is head and feed, that the ball is fed so badly into the scrummages, obviously going one way. It is incredible that this is allowed to happen.
I think basically nowadays they've decided that the ball can be put into the second row. Treatment required for Gary Rose, who had a rather fat lip even before the start of today's game, something sustained last week against Wigan. So David Sharp just stops the flow of the blood, and he doesn't have to go away into the blood bin. Goulding again. Hanley made that decoy run, and it was Hugh coming onto the pass. Devorty held in Sharp's tackle. Leeds would certainly look to get some tries coming down this hill. Schofield jinking well. Excellent work from the Great Britain standoff half, the man who'll be the vice-captain, to Hanley on the tour. Here is Hanley, the captain himself. Now he shows it. Tries to switch the play, tries to get away from Fox, still does get away. Brilliant ball. Gallagher's going towards the corner. He got Edwards on his outside and Gibson, and that was all down to Hanley's strength. That was what we've come to expect from the Great Britain skipper. Leeds have chances here. This long ball is flung out, but it wasn't really accurate, and Fawcett's going to do well to pick it up. He knocks it back for Innes. And that's going to be the first handover of the game. But Gallagher might have got in then.
Well, that's what you say, John. You can't leave Hanley alone. I mean, that time then he played and shrugged off 3-4 tackles. Then people are so insistent trying to get hold of him that he can push out a pass and put somebody in the clear.
Dangerous ball. Pearson couldn't take it, and that gives Leeds an opportunity. But to his credit, Pearson did make the tackle on Malloy then. Again. Goulding, and sleight of hand between Schofield and Goulding has set up an opportunity now, and Hanley, he might get in here. He's got Innes in, and Craig Innes, the New Zealand All Black, gets only his second try for the club, the first of the day for Leeds.
Two pieces of magic by Ellery Hanley. The one before this didn't result in a score. This one certainly does when he collects this ball on the burst. Just watch him take it and streak through the gap. Now the defence all comes into him. He draws the defence to him. Innes on his outside, and that's a great try.
One that's going to do Craig Innes the world of good. His only previous try came in a defeat at St Helens. He had the feeling that Hanley might well have gone all the way himself, but he was very unselfish in giving it to Innes.
Well, he drew the defence right into him, really, and by the time Innes did take it on his left-hand side, then there was little for him to do except run straight and touch the ball down.
All he will ask now is for Gallagher to convert it. That he does, and Leeds are in the lead for the first time. 8-6.
Well, they say about taking the ball on the burst. This is just it, because look what happens. You can't tackle him up. He draws the defence. That means Pearson had to take him. Innes there up on his outside, takes the pass and crosses.
Featherstone will be very disappointed to be behind, having had a very good first half, really.
They will, but one of the things they're not doing is that one or two of the Featherstone players are trying to bump people with the tackles rather than tackle them low, a result of which a number of tackles have been broken.
Hanley's here again. He's suddenly got an appetite for the game. He's featured so strongly in the last 5 minutes. That was all rather messy. Schofield to kick, and that should find touch. I understand the news is that Chris Bibb may come back for the second half. He left the field looking very groggy indeed, but happily is looking rather more composed now. It's Chris Bibb. Probably welcomes a few minutes out of the game, but not for that reason. It's certainly a fast and physical encounter. Smales and Fox. There was talk of a Leeds bid for Ian Smales recently. It didn't work out. Rose. Tutor. Evaded one man, and then there would be a penalty here. The referee was right, there was an obstruction there. Certainly wasn't Tutor's fault, he just kept on going, but there was an obstruction and the referee saw it. Leeds would like another score before the hooter. And they have about 8 minutes left in the half in which to add to their lead. Schofield, clever, and he's got Dixon to within a few yards of that Featherstone line. And this is danger for Featherstone Rovers, it really is. Leeds look as though they might have a number of options here, instigated by Schofield and Goulding. It's Hanley, lovely ball back in field. Hugh, Cavill Hugh, held up no more than 3 yards out, and again Hanley was involved. Hanley, the longer ball this time. Innes, he's got one try. He's looking for a second. Only one more tackle to come. And Leeds, for the moment, have only got 11 fit players. Gibson and Maskill both struggling. But Hanley shows it. Schofield, he'll run into the gap. He'll give it to Devorty. Now it's to Dixon. Edwards, Gibson is outside him. Edwards hauled down, and that will be the end of the move. Leeds get into within 5 yards of a second score.
The ball right across the line here. Chris Hanley again there, look, he just holds on to that pass a little bit. Schofield then starts running across the field. The defence comes into him as well. It's now out to Morven Edwards. But Edwards decides, rather than bring Gibson into play at all, tries to do it himself. He's hauled down by a double tackle.
And Fox really using the wind here has pumped an immense kick upfield. That's one of the best kicks I think I've ever seen at this ground, and that's gone 60, 65 yards.
Well, they do depend on him a lot. His defence have been cracking under this onslaught of Leeds attacks. They are still not tackling low. They are letting too many tackles go through, and I think that Alan Ager will have to talk to them half time on closing it all down.
Well, that was just what Featherstone needed from Derek Fox, but now it's Vince Fawcett who straightens up. Fawcett coming up the middle still. It's been a spirited return to the side by him. John Bentley, I know, disappointed to be on the bench today. Gallagher. Edwards looking for a gap, and Newell have made sure there wasn't one. Maskill, he did well then. Maskill just spotted that there was an opening on his right and went into it, and it's a good ending to the half for Leeds. Dixon, that distinctive style of his, showing the ball. Devorty, Gallagher, problems here for Featherstone Rowers, and Morven Edwards can add to Leeds' lead. Gallagher for the line, Gallagher back inside, Edwards picks it up, but no try given. Gallagher might have got in himself. Edwards disconsolate. It's the second one he's had rubbed out. I'm sure John Gallagher could have made it all the line to himself.
Well, it's fast, it's enterprising stuff now by Leeds. This started with Dixon going across field, which wasn't the best way to go, but it was quick passing now, and Gallagher puts Morven Edwards again into a gap. He runs into the gap and comes in field, which brings the defence in with him. It's now out to Gallagher. I felt, as you did, John, that probably he should have gone there. It was that pass inside which the referee wasn't happy with.
And Chris Bibb returns, with Sharp going off again. And Leeds are also looking to change things by taking off Carl Gibson and by bringing on John Bentley. Finally, John Bentley had some police work on Thursday night, a commitment during the election, which meant that he missed a training session, which is why he was left out of the starting lineup. He's on now. As Smales breaks the tackles again, and Smales hairs to the 25 excellently. That's the third strong run from Ian Smales. No wonder Leeds had set up a deal to sign him. Fox, Tuta. Couldn't quite beat off Gallagher. Now it's Burton.
This is good defence now by Leeds, because they're coming forward all the time, putting him under pressure.
Newell, he nearly got away from that tackle of Devorty's. But he didn't, that was the important factor. So Fox to Pearson, Chris Birdman. Featherstone glad to have him back on the last tackle. Fox, well, it's almost gone backwards. Going to come back on the Featherstone side for the collection by Pearson, and a rather clever crossfield kick by Martin Pearson, although it's gone dead in the end. But he had to do something different on the last tackle.
He certainly did, and that's as good as anything, really, rather than giving the opposition the ball.
Well, Leeds really could have been well in the clear because they frittered away 2 excellent try-scoring chances with Edwards both times involved, and Hanley really is turning it on at the moment. This must be one of his best performances for Leeds.
Yes, and we were saying how quiet he might have been in a couple of games, but he really is an authoritative player once he starts.
Innes has roared onto this pass and gets to just outside the Featherstone 25. We're not far away from the half-time break, but it's Leeds who are calling all the shots in these closing moments, and Dixon here couldn't break the tackle of Smales, otherwise he might have had somebody cantering in on his right, and it's the handover, much to Featherstone's relief.
It's very much the Wigan syndrome, really, because Leeds are moving the ball out all the time, out wide, then bringing it back in. Once the field starts breaking up, gaps do appear.
A bruising run from Rose, but the ball has gone to ground, and the referee is right here that it is a knock-on, and we'll have a scrum. And Leeds will have the chance to put it in, and one last opportunity, perhaps in the half, to add to their tally. And they've got a penalty. There's a shout of who's reffing the game from below me. Oh, I thought it was Mr. Stuart Cummings of Widnes. Some in the crowd think otherwise. What a chance this is for Leeds. Maskell to Malloy. The first man up held 5 yards out. It's a critical moment in the game as Schofield spins and tries to work his way over. Too many tacklers for him. I say critical because another Leeds score would give them heart here for the second half, when they'll be coming up the hill. It's Goulding, and Devort is lost. Oh, but it's not forward. But a penalty's been given to Featherstone anyway. That was a strange sequence of events.
It certainly was. Punching the ball forward then was quite incredible. Let's just watch this all over. It was Leeds on the attack here. Goulding was trying to make a gap, brings the ball inside the Devotee, goes up in the air. Now the ball is pushed back by him and then seemingly punched.
It's half-time at Post Office Road, and a pretty good first half as well, although only 1 try apiece in it. But critically, Gary Schofield went off for 10 minutes into the sin bin after an altercation with Ikram Butt, and during that time Paul Newell have got a try and Derek Fox a penalty goal. But since then, Leeds have come right back into this match, and they lead 8-6 at half-time with that try from Craig Innes and 2 goals from John Gallagher. 8-6 at half-time, the second half coming up after the break. First for the second half, they lead.